We're back for Spider-Man 2. Caravan of Garbage is here. People are very upset. Some people are very upset that we're covering this in Caravan of Garbage.
Yep, absolutely. Special shout-outs to people who haven't watched this video, but have already put a comment that's like, how dare you put this Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie that's ever been made, and you wouldn't know nothing about this. We're going to say good stuff about it.
Nah, it sucks. Just kidding. I quite like this film.
Me too.
I think it's a lot of things kind of settle into the series. It's the pinnacle of this trilogy.
I think it is.
But there's still some stuff that I don't like.
Oh my goodness.
That's right, yeah.
Excuse me a moment while I make a YouTube comment. And hey, you don't know nothing.
And look, if people could leave a like, that'd be great. It gets this video more traction. It gets it seen. It gets it out there in the World Wide Web, spider web. There we go.
Oh my goodness, you've tied it all
Thank
together.
you.
Like Spider-Man tying together some robbers. Were you hyped about this movie when it was?
Absolutely, I was.
And of course, you were there to see well-known character actor Alfred Molina.
Absolutely,
in a role.
I
You're like,
was.
the guy from Chocolat.
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
The guy from the very start of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
The spiders on him and then he gets impaled by spikes. Are you kidding me? He's a good choice.
He is a good choice.
There's some things about that character I'm not entirely understanding of.
Look, hit me with one.
Okay, for one, he's supposed to be a very intelligent man, and yet he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drill these octopus arms into my back with an exposed microchip so they don't take over my body.
James. It's a microchip that's covered in a very thin piece of glass that is vulnerable to heat and is on the back of his exposed neck.
Yes.
Now that I say it out loud, you're right.
But the thing is, his idea of unlimited power is, okay, I need to wear this rig, stand in front of the sun,
Yes.
which is just going to give me cancer. These goggles will be fine.
Yep.
And I just got to control the energy coming off it forever.
Nobody else is wearing the goggles
No,
as well.
they're not.
Nobody else in the room.
And I'm not going to turn my back on the sun, so this chip, it's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
But he does turn his back on the sun.
Very quickly, almost immediately, yes. You're right. Is that going to be his job from this point forward? Is just to stand in front of this thing with these wibbly wobbly arms? Also, is this the first time he's tried this rig?
Yes.
You'd think he'd take his jacket off and there'd be like all these other puncture wounds from all
Yeah.
the previous times he's tried it, but he hasn't.
Nah.
He's just like, yeah, first time in front of an audience. What if they all sunk into his back and he's like, oh no, presentation's over, everybody. No, this sucks. I should have used a joystick or something. I'm actually not a medical doctor. I don't know why I thought this would work. I was in Boogie Nights. Do you remember that? Yeah, that was good.
I love the rig. They're great because
Yeah.
there's 4 people on every arm.
Yeah,
so
right,
it's like 16 in total to make it happen.
And they're so detailed. They're terrifying.
And they're different. Like each
Yeah.
one of them have like a different kind of look
Like
to
a
them.
claw.
Yeah.
So there are claws and there are scoops.
Yeah, one's got a spike.
And they've got scary red eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's an artificial intelligence and it's kind of like being restrained by this like little chip. Again, under the little piece of glass. Put it in a box. Put it in a black box.
Yeah, I agree.
Why don't they make all the arms out of a black box?
Because
You know
then
what I
they'd be
mean?
indestructible, you dumbass.
Oh, yeah, good point. But it's like we don't really get any insight into what they want. Clearly, they want to build the sun. And they want to rob banks.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
But only in service of the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
He also tells that weird joke about the rubber band around the $20
He does
bill.
open it with
I
that.
don't know why he tells that joke.
Before we start, has anybody lost a large roll of $20 bills in a rubber band? Because we found the rubber band.
Like, to what end?
Uh-huh.
Is it because he's like, look, I'm going to ignite a sun in front of everybody, but this will calm everybody down.
Right.
This terrible joke.
It's a terrible joke.
Also, he's just a man, and he gets punched so
His
much.
famed character actor, Alfred Molina.
Okay, sorry.
He was in Maverick, 1994.
If Spider-Man punched character actor Alfred Molina in the face,
He died.
that fight is over.
Yeah.
He's just a man.
Yeah.
He gets hit so much in this movie, but they never address. I think he shouldn't have landed a punch on him. I think the arms should have stopped him every time.
Because it's not like the Green Goblin or Venom where like his physiology's been altered and he's super strong and super invulnerable.
No.
Like even if you had crazy man strength,
Yeah.
that doesn't factor into that Spider-Man could punch your head off. And I know traditionally we always say like, oh, Spider-Man pulls his punches when he fights a regular man. 'cause
Not
he
this
doesn't wanna
guy, he
kill-
wouldn't.
Well, exactly. And this guy's going after Aunt May.
Yeah.
He's going after Mary Jane.
He's building a sun.
He's building the sun. Exactly. Hit him really hard just once and see what happened. Hit him in the balls, really.
Absolutely.
That worked last time for the Green Goblin.
It really did.
Really took the wind out of his
He
sails.
killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing is you could have him be knocked out and the arms still work.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there is the sequence where they're going to take him off him in surgery. It's a great sequence, the horror sequence.
Yes.
And they're fighting. They're cleaning up the room.
Yeah.
That bit where the woman gets dragged with the nails.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Apparently that effect's just done with it's just a wax floor.
Oh, okay,
It's
cool.
so effective. Also, John Landis is killed in that scene, which is also good.
Yeah.
Also, originally he was going to be the same age as Peter Parker, and there was going to be a love triangle.
Oh, teenage Peter Parker.
That's right. But there was going to be a love triangle between him and Mary Jane and Peter. And Avi Arad, in one of the good decisions he's made in his life, one of 3, relating to Spider-Man, was like, let's not do a love triangle. Let's...
That's super weird. Traditionally, if there's going to be any kind of romantic subplot in a Dr. Octopus comic book, it's usually Dr. Octopus falls in love with Aunt May.
Absolutely. They've been married before.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. He was also going to be in the first movie. Like, there's some concept that they did, and it's more kind of gremlin-y and creepy and sinister, and this they kind of went more clean-cut scientist with a bowl cut and some sinister arms. What I also really love about it is the little things that it does. Like, it'll light a cigar, tip a hat, drink a whiskey.
Oh, is it an MRA?
Yeah, that's
It'll
right.
drink a whiskey and it'll tip your fedora for you.
So there's some great outtakes of them trying to get that to work, which is quite good. But I think the look of this character, the performance, all of it's really good.
I'm driving.
The stuff that I don't really understand about it, I'm fine with. And the other thing was they were going to do, a big part of this movie is that they do the Superman 2 thing where he doesn't want to be a superhero anymore.
Spider-Man no more.
Exactly. They do that exact comic shot of the suit in the bin or whatever. It's from the comics. But he's losing his powers because he's in love and it's
a performance issue. He's nervous.
It's exactly what it
happens
is.
to everyone.
It really does. I mean, some people, I assume. But he was going to have an inhibitor chip from Doc Ock, which slowed him down.
He'd be like, Spider-Man, you can't use your powers anymore because I put a chip on the back of your neck. Oh, you've broken it.
But there's some great action in this.
I agree.
Really terrific, to this day, stands up stuff.
There is some great action in this. I mean, some of it, in retrospect, maybe doesn't make a lot of sense. There's a scene towards the middle where Doc Ock wants to go and get Peter Parker.
Yep.
And his initial move is to throw a car at him.
Not knowing that he's Spider-Man.
Throw a car at regular man Peter Parker. And then what? Pick up his head and hope it turns in the direction of Spider-Man. He doesn't know it's Spider-Man.
He really doesn't.
But that sequence where
it would have killed him if he wasn't Spider-Man.
It would have killed everybody.
Yeah.
He's lucky that cafe was very sparsely populated.
I remember when I first saw that trailer.
Yeah.
Because the very first thing I saw from this was that scene online on Apple trailers where that was a thing.
Oh, yes, it was. Absolutely.
Maybe it still is. But I just saw that and just went, holy hell.
You watched it and then you waited 20 minutes for it to load again and you watched it a second time. That sold me on, like, it's this romantic, tender moment, and is he going to admit that his true feelings, and then the car comes and doesn't kill him, and then they have to they dodge out of the way by mere millimeters. Oh, so good.
I love the behind the scenes. There's like this twirly rig that they're in a green screen room. The compositing's much better in this, so you can't... It looks like they're just in the same space.
That's true. Although I think there's, in Spider-Man 2, I think we've hit that era of, we can CGI anything. Yeah. We should definitely CGI everything.
There's a bit where Doc Ock carries Mary Jane out of the coffee shop, and that looks... pretty terrible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, CGI people aren't great. Though there is one at the end when Doc Ock is killed and he goes past the camera. That's CGI. And you can tell, but it's quite good.
I agree,
for 2004. Okay, action scenes though. There's a bit where he goes in between on the truck.
Yeah,
he scoots through on it.
Well, there's obviously the much replicated stopping the train sequence.
Stopping the train sequence is incredible.
Which again is it's referenced in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and the way it escalates, it's insane. There's actually an extended sequence for it in the deleted scenes where it's just more punching. There's one part where they tumble into a building and Spider-Man is just clocking him in the head like again and again. I'm like, well, I see why they took this out because it would have killed him.
And then he's just punching a red puddle. And they're like, oh, also you've killed character actor Alfred Molina. Frida.
Very good. And then Spider-Man gets thrown out the window, and on the way out, he webs Doc Ock and pulls him out with him. It's really great. Yeah. The bank vault scene. I never understood why he's throwing bags of gold. I'm like, what bank is this? What are we doing with bags of gold?
Yep.
Is this Scrooge McDuck's vault? What is this?
Yeah, for sure.
The coins apparently were supposed to be found on a sunken ship, and they're nearly a century old. So they're supposed to be vintage coins in this vault. That's never explained in the movie, obviously.
Is that a reference to like some sort of pirate superhero that we never get a sense of?
I have no idea.
But Aunt May at one point points out that there are other superheroes in this universe flying about saving the day.
Who do you think it might be?
It's probably Superman.
It's probably New Goblin.
Testing out his... They couldn't come up with a better name? Didn't make him the Hobgoblin? Why wouldn't you?
We'll get to it.
All right.
Yeah. Harry Osborn, speaking of him, I think performances all round are better in this movie.
Yeah.
He's better, though there is like moments where he's like, hi Peter, happy birthday. Who the fuck is Spider-Man? Look, we're good. We're friends.
I love you like a brother. Where's Spider-Man? Where's you? I'll never forgive him. Where is he? Why are you friends with him?
The suit's better in this as well.
I agree.
Do you feel? It's
I
like a
think so.
deeper red. They've done some little modifications where it's clearly the same universe and the same suit and whatever, but it pops more. Like the mouth still doesn't move when he talks, and it's very noticeable when he's like in the elevator next to that guy and he's just standing there and they're having a chat.
He's in the elevator with Mr. 2004, the most 2004 man who ever lived.
Can I riff for you? Can I come up with a couple ideas for you? Just what my company would do? Let's see what I got. How about,
With his hair and his earring.
Big open collar.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's a moment where his webs are failing and you see his mouth.
Happens sometimes.
It happens to some people sometimes.
Yeah.
You see his mouth animate at that point and go, oh no, as he kind of tumbles out of the sky. So, because with that Spider-Man costume, there is a shell underneath it which keeps the same face structure for every person that wears it.
Yeah, right, okay,
So that's
sure.
kind of the way it is, yeah.
This movie is all about, man, Spider-Man is really downtrodden.
Yes.
The bank is foreclosing on Aunt May's house, and Harry Osborn hates Spider-Man, and he can't tell Mary Jane that he loves him.
And she hates him.
And she hates him, and he's always
His bike gets run over.
Exactly. He's always behind. He gets fired. He's always behind on his rent, and he's
Bruce
failing.
Campbell won't let him into the theater.
Exactly. He's failing all his classes. It's just really, it's pretty grim out there.
There's a moment where he's getting hit in the head with bags. The bag that really hits him is Sam Raimi, apparently.
Oh, I see.
There's an outtake where the bag strap gets looped on his head and like drags him.
Oh, I see.
It's pretty great.
So
yeah.
does that mean that Tobey Maguire bad vibes from the first movie, where apparently the crew hated him, did that move on to the director?
It may
Was
have.
the director like, there's a scene where actually a lot of stuff gets thrown at you. It's real stuff. We want it to look real. It's a brick in a bag. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
There is some Tobey Maguire difficulty surrounding this movie. I'm sure a lot of people know this, but he was going to drop out because of a back injury, and they cast Jake Gyllenhaal in the role.
Yeah, right.
This was also parodied in Entourage with the Aquaman story.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Vince is out. Jake Gyllenhaal is in.
I mean, Entourage in itself is a parody, I guess.
Of good television?
I guess it is, yeah. So he was ready to go, but then his back got better and he was fine. Well, the rumor is that he wanted more money for the role because he'd already signed
Oh,
on.
and he faked a back injury.
Yeah, or, it was a bone spur situation.
Oh, I see,
guess,
right.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? You get drafted in being Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's right. Well, he'd already signed on for 3. And,
Yeah.
the money was decided upon, but apparently his agents wanted $25 million or 10% of the gross. I'm assuming they looked at like the Michael Keaton deal for Batman or the Jack Nicholson and went, well, that's where the money is.
Yeah, right,
Which makes sense, but that's not what ended up happening. There's still some nods to it though. You know the bit where he falls and he injures his back?
Yes.
And he's like, my back. That apparently was always in it. That's not a
Oh, okay,
nod to
right.
Tobey Maguire.
They didn't put that in to punish him. Like there isn't a line where he's like, "My back, I'm faking a back injury."
But there is an article headline that you see on the Daily Bugle. It's just a minor one that says, "Can chronic back pain lead to brain shrinkage?" So that
Brutal.
sounds like a...
And impotence. It happens
It happens to
sometimes.
some people sometimes.
Like Tobey Maguire, the actor.
That's right. The Peter Parker stuff with Mary Jane is better.
There's fewer very,
Sappy.
very long, sappy monologues towards each other.
Yeah.
And I think they even sort of turn that around where I think Doc Ock tells Peter Parker, you should read her poetry.
Yeah.
And then he's like, here we go. Here's some, and she's like, stop talking.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what else is really good in this? The scene with Aunt May where he tells her that he could have stopped Uncle Ben's killer. He's really good in that scene. And the way that she doesn't even say anything, she just gets up and she's like, I can't fucking deal with this.
You get a sense
Yeah.
she's not going to fly off the handle, but she needs a lot of time to process.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
then she turns around and goes, you're probably Spider-Man, so get back
everyone,
out there.
pretty much everyone in New York knows.
Yes.
And they're keeping it under their hat, milady.
Okay, that scene where Spider-Man's unmasked.
Yes.
And they carry him into the train. I really like it.
But I think even in 2004, you'd take a photo of that on your flip phone or whatever, and you'd be like, "I got a photo of Spider-Man," and they'd be like, is that a man?"
Is that you and Jake Gyllenhaal? So apparently I say Gyllenhaal wrong. But you know what? He's not here. I can do what I want.
That it is actually Gyllenhaal. Hello?
Also, he doesn't watch Marvel movies, so he's not going to watch
Oh, yeah,
a
that's
video.
right.
But did you see that interview recently?
Where they're like, which is your favorite? It's like, oh, whatever one's your favorite. That's...
What is your favorite MCU movie that you aren't a part of? I like Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, I was about to say that.
Thor Ragnarok, I think, is my...
But I love the bit where the guy's like, he's just a kid, no older than my son. But what he should say is, he's just a man, no older than my friend Terry. We're the same age.
Who's also a man. He's no older than my friend, a man who is experiencing virility issues. It happens to everyone. Just look at him. He's clearly impotent and can't get it up.
I love the raindrops keep falling on my head moment.
Oh, yes.
It's a nice nod to Butch Cassidy. Apparently it was like a temporary track they put in, but it just lined up really well, so they kept
yes.
it in. Also, Tobey Maguire's a vegan. He's eating a tofu hot dog, just so you know.
there you go.
He's not a monster, Mason. He's a
Yeah.
vegan, you know what I mean? There's some stuff that I'm like, why are we doing this again? Burning building.
Yeah,
rescue.
absolutely,
I
yeah.
mean, it's changed because he doesn't have his powers and whatever.
Yeah,
so
right.
there is that element.
Uh-huh.
But then Mary Jane just gets kidnapped again, and he has
That
to
is
go
true,
and stop
yeah.
her again. And then when we get to the third movie, again.
She's doing stuff. She's the face of a perfume, and she's in a play, and she's like, oh my god, this person's seen it 5 times, and this person's seen it too. All right, that's weird actually. That someone's seen you play 5 times.
That's too many.
It's too many times.
Your friends are weird.
Your friends are weird. Sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know-
Get over yourself, lady.
There we go. You know, from the get-go, I like this movie better because, for one, the opening sequence, and we talked about this in the last video, it's the Alex Ross paintings recapping the first movie.
Yes.
And I also love that, unlike most Spider-Man films, it doesn't end with a fucking funeral. It's like
That is true,
do,
yeah.
Out of the first 5, this is the only one that doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
which is pretty
Wow.
incredible. Also, it feels like more of a real New York. I think back to like the collapsing balcony from the first one. It feels very much like a set.
Yeah, it does,
This
absolutely.
doesn't really ever feel like that.
Yeah.
There is the moment though where he's delivering pizzas at the start, which I love. It's a great sequence. It's also a great moment in the video game if you ever played Spider-Man 2. It's terrific. I'd love to cover that one day.
Do you play as Peter Parker on a
He
little
plays, he
bike?
plays Spider-Man delivering pizzas, but you can't do too many flips or you'll mush the pizza.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he got those to Emily Deschanel on time, they would have been all smushed, and she shouldn't have paid
Yeah,
for them anyway.
absolutely
Did you
not.
see him? They're all crushed down.
I don't understand where he kept his clothes because he doesn't have a pouch. There's no bag on him. Did he just mush him in a pizza box?
Yes.
He must have.
Also, what's he doing fixing the closet? You know what I mean?
No time.
No, there's no time.
I mean, you're already late. You're probably
Yeah.
not going to make it, but there is no time. Apparently, real pizza place in real life, real number.
Yes, I
There you
know.
go. Yeah. Did you know that?
Yes.
It's a famous New York slice, Mason.
I get it.
Here's a fun fact.
I'm ready.
In this movie, they were originally planning to introduce Doc Ock, Black Cat, the Lizard, and Harry as New Goblin, all in one movie.
Wow. Is there room for more villains after New Goblin?
Well, I think this is a mistake that they then fold into the next movie.
For sure, yeah.
Just like the last movie, we've named a few of them. There's some kind of bit parts which then become bigger actors.
Yeah,
have
right.
gone on from Daniel Day Kim is one of the scientists.
That's true, yeah.
He's a great actor. He's in Lost. Joey Diaz, a comedian.
Oh, yes.
Emily Deschanel
As the receptionist,
You mentioned
yeah.
Bones. Joel McHale pre-hair plugs as the bank guy.
Oh,
And-
that's I didn't know that.
yeah,
Scandalous.
that's right. There we go.
You'll take down anyone.
It's just a reality.
Look, it happens to people
It happens to
sometimes.
people. You're allowed to do
Yeah.
these things to yourself. It's
Yeah.
fine. I also like that Willem Dafoe returns as a hallucination, and he again returns in the next one. I do wonder though whether they plan to bring him back fully at some point.
Physically,
because exactly. Because in the comics, he's been dead so many times, and
That's
he comes
true.
back. Yeah.
And a lot of the time, like the implication is that the Goblin formula just keeps bringing you back. Like
Yeah.
he can never die. But I mean, again, realistically, why would you bring back the Green Goblin lame when you have New Goblin, new and cool?
Rad.
Rad.
Mary Jane leaves her fiance at the altar,
Yeah.
and look, he's just some boring guy.
He's been to space.
Who gives a shit? Everyone's been to space. It's no, I know that's great that he's been to space. He has nothing interesting to say. The only interesting about that guy is that his father is somehow J. Jonah Jameson.
That's true.
I don't know how that works at all.
Yeah. But again, there appears to be no repercussions
No.
for Peter Parker in the next movie that he stole J. Jonah Jameson's son's fiance
Yeah.
at the altar. Like, how humiliating.
That is incredibly humiliating.
That being said, I do get the sense that J. Jonah Jameson is relieved that, like, because he's like, don't open the caviar.
Yeah.
I think he'd be like, I can recoup some of these
Save a
losses.
bit of cash here. Yeah, exactly. Also, that guy becomes the Wolfman in the comics.
I was going to say, he becomes a space wolfman. So there's your interesting, you know?
Yeah, a thing that we never see.
I'm back on the moon.
I mentioned some deleted scenes before. A lot of them seem like they could just slot back in. There's a moment where Doc Ock holds Spider-Man in front of the passing train and he just gets cleaned up. It just,
By a train?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's yeah. So that kind of makes sense at the end when he gets knocked out so easily because he's been hit by a train.
Yeah, for sure. Mhm.
And there's the bit where J. Jonah Jameson, have you seen this? Where he's wearing the Spider-Man
He puts
suit?
on the Spider-Man suit, yeah.
We know now he's very fit.
Oh, he lifts.
Yeah.
He does cardio.
He lifts big time. He's trim and nimble and I respect it.
He probably did the same training regime that Tobey Maguire did.
He probably
Just in
did.
case they needed a ring in. They're like, look, we're not so keen on this Tobey Maguire character. Do you want to do dual roles, J.K. Simmons?
Absolutely, I do. Yes.
Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. I will bring you pictures of Spider-Man.
I think this is a good movie.
I do agree.
I'm not sure if I think it's the best Spider-Man movie, but I enjoyed rewatching it. There's some corny moments, but what I like about these movies is there's a real feel to them. Like there's a sense of universe and purpose and the way that Sam Raimi crafts this world.
Yeah.
I like being in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're characters that if you took them out and you say put them in like the modern day MCU, they would feel kind of stylized and caricature-y because they are sort of big iconic characters and kind of simplified. But I think when you're in the world, you're like, oh, I'm in the comic book world here,
And
you
we
know?
love it.
And we love it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we also hate it.
We kind of hate it a bit. This is the pinnacle of the first five.
Yeah.
For absolute.
Definitely,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back next week, of course, for Spider-Man 3.
The pinnacle of the first five.
Can't wait to get to it.
Me too.
Because it's dead in the middle of the first 5. But also we do videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. The other thing is we've got a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. The episode we just did is on all the different weird variations of Spider-Man.
Oh my goodness.
Weird and wonderful. Anyway, I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Thanks for tuning in.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week. Spider-Man 3.
Vindicated. I am selfish. I am wrong. You know this song.
I actually don't know this one. Who was that again?
Dashboard Confessionals.
Confessional, all right.
I don't know the third one. We'll
right.
come back to it.
We'll make up our own.
Definitely.